Imagine you're the most powerful person on earth. Thousands of soldiers protect you. You live in a palace filled with gold. Servants taste every meal before you eat it. No one can come near you without permission. You have everything except one thing: trust. Because at any moment, your own wife, your brother, your closest advisor, or even your favorite son could secretly poison you. The strange part is that some ancient kings became so terrified of poison that they started taking tiny amounts of poison every single day. It sounds unbelievable. Why would anyone willingly poison themselves? Wouldn't that only make death come faster? Surprisingly, they believed it was the only way to stay alive. Even more surprising, modern science suggests they may not have been completely wrong. Thousands of years ago, when a king suddenly became sick, people rarely blamed disease. Instead, they suspected murder. Poison was almost impossible to detect. There were no wounds, no signs of attack, and no clear evidence. A king could simply collapse during dinner, and no one could prove whether it was natural death or assassination. That made poison one of the deadliest weapons in history. Unlike a sword, poison required no strength. It only required patience. A single drop hidden in wine, bread, or soup could kill the most powerful ruler before the next sunrise. Imagine sitting at the dinner table knowing every bite could be your last. To stay safe, kings forced servants to taste their food first. Cupbearers drank from the king's cup before handing it over. Some rulers even watched birds or animals eat the food before touching it themselves. But there was a problem. Some poisons acted slowly, the servant survived. The king died 2 days later. That wasn't very comforting. His name was Mithridates, ruler of a kingdom near the Black Sea over 2,000 years ago. As a child, he watched his father die. Many believed the king had been poisoned. Soon after, Mithridates became convinced that his own mother wanted him dead as well. Imagine growing up believing your biggest enemy was your own family. Instead of waiting for someone to poison him, he came up with a shocking idea. What if I poison myself first? Every morning, Mithridates swallowed tiny amounts of poison, never enough to kill him, just enough he hoped for his body to slowly become resistant. It was similar to lifting weights. You don't begin with the heaviest weight. You start small and gradually increase the load. Mithridates believed poison could work the same way. Over months and years, he reportedly increased the doses. Ancient writers claimed he experimented with plant toxins, snake venom, and other dangerous substances. Many people believed he eventually became almost impossible to poison. Others thought he had lost his mind. Maybe he was both. At first, this sounds completely impossible, but modern science shows that the body can develop tolerance to certain poisons if exposed to extremely small, carefully controlled amounts. Not every poison works this way. In fact, most do not. This is also very different from how vaccines work. Vaccines train the immune system against diseases, while poison tolerance depends on different biological processes. Still, Mithridates' idea wasn't entirely without scientific reasoning. It was simply an incredibly dangerous experiment. His unusual strategy became famous across the ancient world. Other rulers wanted the same protection. Royal physicians began creating complicated anti-poison mixtures using herbs, minerals, animal products, and even powdered snake flesh. Some recipes reportedly contained more than 50 different ingredients. Kings drank these strange mixtures every day because they believed one extra day of life was worth any unpleasant taste. The greatest irony came years later. After losing a long war against Rome, Mithridates saw his kingdom collapse. His allies abandoned him, and his family betrayed him. With no hope left, he decided to end his own life by drinking poison. According to ancient historians, it failed. His body had supposedly become so resistant that the poison could no longer kill him. In the end, he reportedly asked one of his soldiers to kill him with a sword. Whether every detail is true remains uncertain, but the story became one of history's greatest ironies. Fear of poison spread through royal courts. Kings feared queens. Queens feared princes. Princes feared servants. Servants feared everyone. A single dinner invitation could become a death sentence. Some rulers carried their own cups wherever they went. Others refused food prepared by strangers. Many trusted almost no one. Ancient Rome became especially famous for political poisonings. Several emperors died under mysterious circumstances. Rivals disappeared without warning. Banquets that looked joyful could suddenly become deadly. People laughed together, raised their cups, celebrated victories, and sometimes one guest quietly died before dessert. Whether poison caused every mysterious death is impossible to know, but the fear alone changed history. Eventually, some rulers became prisoners inside their own palaces, not because enemies surrounded them, because fear surrounded them. Imagine questioning every meal, doubting loyal friends, and watching every servant with suspicion every single day. Even if nobody planned to poison you, life itself became a prison. Sometimes the fear became more dangerous than the poison. Looking back today, it's easy to wonder why ancient kings poisoned themselves. But humans still use a similar idea in completely different ways. Vaccines expose the body to harmless versions of germs. Allergy treatments gradually introduce allergens. Athletes push their muscles through controlled stress to become stronger. Small controlled exposure can sometimes build resilience. The difference is that modern medicine understands exactly how these systems work. Ancient kings had no laboratories, no chemistry, and no clinical trials. They were simply experimenting with their lives. So, did ancient kings really poison themselves? Some definitely did, especially rulers inspired by Mithridates. Did it make them completely immune? Probably not. Did it provide some protection against certain poisons? Possibly. But the biggest lesson is this. The most powerful people in the ancient world weren't always afraid of armies or wars. Sometimes the thing they feared most was sitting right in front of them. A simple cup of wine. Because history was not always decided on the battlefield. Sometimes it was decided at the dinner table.